bro, you alright? Life treating you well? Yeah, what's that, man? Yes, today's a Sikh day. Yeah. One second. What's the celebration, do you know? It's a protest. Oh, it's a protest.
You see that? Did you see that? A speaker's corner. And I called for reinforcements on Sunday to help me out. And my Sikh brothers all came down in the thousands. Did you see that? You know, everyone says I'm a loner. I have connections around the world. And click of a thingy and they all came down. Thank you very much. Obviously, I'm kidding. I wish they did. They were actually there for the Khalistan rally. Obviously, I would have loved to have been there, but house sitting. And day 8 is actually 7 in the morning. Day 8. Got 2 more days left. So not that long. I'm back home. No more of these videos. I'm not doing no more of these videos. But yeah, I'm gonna go on because something weird happened. Like, you know, it's a very strange situation that while I was away, there's a whole video on COE called "Discussion Revolving Around Raj's Intentions and Actions and Reasons for Them." And my Sikh bro, you know, I always say that, you know, I dislike humanity, and last time I said that, I said, but you know, out of all the people, I think Sikhs are overall a great people. Obviously, we have our own problems as well, and you can see from this guy, very reasonable. Gave me a bit of stick, which I don't mind. I actually need it, you know. Like a naughty school kid, I do sometimes need to be told off. But you know, I do take advice as long as it's objective. And so he said quite a few good things actually that I thought were. Because I think this guy here, who I've met before, I forgot his name, but he was trying to instigate this kind of, oh, Raj is an evil person and he's an Islamophobe and blah blah blah. My mate James, this guy here, was thinking I'd love to meet him actually. I've met him, but I'm not really chatting to him properly. He said some nice stuff against me, but you can kind of see this guy was trying to instigate things and say that I'm some kind of the next kind of Bond villain or something, or the new Ali Diva. Never be an Ali Diva though, because he's on the next level of tyranny against Saeed. He's little Manuel. So remember, he's Basil 40, Ali Saeed. So Ali Diva. So the thing is, this guy was really trying to kind of like. I've met this guy, he's an Afghanistani guy, and when I meet people, I don't just suddenly go into a tirade against Islam. I talk to him as a person, and we have a conversation. If religion comes up, fair enough. If it doesn't, then it doesn't. And so we had a conversation, and then he was okay with me, and then he probably heard a few things and saw that I was a Tommy Robinson fan, and now all of a sudden he thinks I'm some kind of mastermind coming to the park to destroy Islam. You know, people give me too much freaking credit, man. I mean, I actually feel quite kind of it's a compliment. It's like, oh, you really think I'm that smart that I'm going around like, you know, trying to kind of like, you know, destroy Islam at Speaker's Corner. It's like, what is wrong with you, man? So he says some few things, and one of the things he says is, this is so funny, like, you know, when you have people discussing you like this, like you're some kind of lab rat, it's kind of weird, actually. I find it hysterical. I was laughing I don't really laugh that much all the time, but I find it very funny. So, what's this?
The difference, he would come in a way that he would insult you first,
Yes.
and then it will make his point. My point is,
but his message
no,
is bad.
wait.
Bad.
My point
delivery,
is that you have the right to insult me.
So this guy's saying that I just run around the park insulting everyone first and then talking. I can tell you that's not the case. I at least say hello and then insult you. You know, I'm at least courteous like that. So I'll say, hi, you're a prick. No, I don't really. No, but you know, if someone's somebody that's like that deep, that guy, that deep shit, said something to my cousin, I'm not going to be nicey, am I? I'm going to go in for a kill. And so, not literally, so don't freaking phone the police and say he's going to kill the guy. I'm talking about like metaphorically, I'm going to go for the kill, so blah, blah, blah. So stop it. I know you're going to start crying if you're a little deep because he's having his circumcision soon. Let's hope it goes botched, like I said. 2 or 3 years in hospital. And so, you know, he's saying that insult first. I don't know where he's got this from. It's absolutely unbelievable. So he knows Sikhs are there, so he's trying to kind of cause a reaction from the Sikhs around the place. And you'll see, like, he's constantly trying to kind of press buttons. And so he says things that are, like, kind of provocative against me, about me and how I behave.
At a level where he gets drawn into things, and again, I'm not making excuses.
Well, don't forget he's surrounded often.
Yeah, I am.
By people
I would hate to be
It's
at
not
the
easy.
receiving end of a lot of what he.
What do you mean surrounded by? He was surrounded by about 30 people last week.
Yeah, by savages. Full-on savages, man. I thought like I was in some kind of movie, like, you know, one of those movies like the Day of the Savages. I think I might call that day the Day of the Savages. I'm going to do some t-shirts. Some people have been saying I'm going to do some t-shirts just called Day of the Savages. Me just down in there with this kind of mindless zombies around me. You know, saying, I'm ashamed of you. You're an Indian. I'm ashamed of you, Uncle Tom. So yeah, I call them like the Day of the Savages. Let's have a look.
You're making him as a victim again.
I am a victim.
He is a bit of a victim in that.
They're saying I'm being a victim. Muslims had played a victim card all the time. Poor you, poor you. It's what the irony is, like, completely lost in him.
That's if it can't be easy.
Have you ever asked him?
I know
why
you and I.
he's here? Have you ever asked him, say just Raj, without anyone?
I think he's
why
made that
do you
clear. I
come?
think he's made
No,
that clear. See, my point is, where are we gonna end to make an excuse for wrong? If he's saying something wrong, if he's doing, I mean,
when are we gonna make the excuse for something's wrong? What about drawing the line at chucking people at buildings for being homosexual, cutting people's hands off for stealing, stoning people for adultery, stoning people, killing people for leaving the faith? You know, these are kind of lines I would draw the line at. Me going to Speaker's Corner and just expressing my opinions isn't that bad in comparison, is it? Is it? Write down in the comments, please. I'd like to hear. Is killing someone worse than me speaking my mind? Alright, so let's have a look.
when I saw his first video, I think it was his first video with Adnan.
Oh yeah, yeah.
He defended Sikhs.
See, now he's trying to rile up the Sikhs. Watch.
The heritage argument. His heritage was so important to him.
Sure.
And I took him as a man that he believed in heritage and is proud of his language and background. And then when I see a video of him who says, F off all the Sikhs, for me that sort of man is a... Yeah, but that wasn't the message. Wrong man. That wasn't the message. That wasn't the message.
So you can see here, he knows there's Sikhs around and he wants to keep on pummeling that. Raj said F Sikhs. Thanks for these guys, for James and I've got to find out his name, and thanks for them to kind of resolve it. Obviously, I was really aiming it towards Sikhs like the Lochan, and there are plenty of Sikhs like the Lochan, and so I was aiming it mainly towards him, and it said it wrong. So obviously, you know what? I've got all this freaking stuff on my thingy that everyone's saying got dandruff. It's not dandruff. You know when the dogs, they jump on you all the time and they freaking leave so much rubbish on you. And so, like, yeah, he's saying that, you know, and I said I apologise for saying that. I've even said that, you know, it's probably one of the one times that I really regret saying so. But, you know, when you're surrounded and you're freaking, like, being berated and people calling you a pigeon, and this pigeon thing, one day I might just, like, come to Speaker's Corner dressed as a giant pigeon. And then they'll probably, like, you know, kill me and eat me, I think. You know, a lot of people are quite sick like that, so... I won't dress as a pigeon. Maybe I will. We'll see. We'll see. If anyone wants me to dress as a pigeon and we can get to £1 million sponsoring me, I'll dress as a pigeon and go Speaker's Corner. See what happens. I reckon there's some pigeon kind of fetish going around there. I reckon a lot of the Muslims might try to like jump on me and sodomize me because I look like a pigeon and dressed as a pigeon. So we better watch out, man. Let's have a look. So yeah, he's trying to kind of like rile up everyone against me. And this is something that I find quite funny. Let's have a look. 11:30. He goes,
Like, she'll say something to you.
So let him
to
loose.
get you to...
So let
let him loose. Like I'm some kind of savage. Oh my god. Let him loose. What? What a thing to say. Oh my god. I'm not the savage.
him loose.
You know what? Smile at him, ask, you know, just...
You smile at me.
Give him the benefit of the doubt, is what we're saying.
No, but when we argue with him, if there are brothers who
Makes it
argued
worse.
with him,
Yeah.
he will not listen.
Oh, I won't listen. Oh, so you have to tell me something and I have to listen and I have to agree and just walk away. Listen here, dudes. We're not under Sharia yet. So you got to shut your mouth and stop telling me what to do. I can listen to you, and if I don't agree, I'll disagree. And I'll keep on disagreeing, you know? Just because the majority think of a particular thing being right or wrong, it doesn't mean that it's right and wrong, you know? There's been plenty of cases throughout history. Obviously, we know, like Nazi Germany, communist states under Stalin, that, you know, people are doing things as groups, as you know, and committing atrocious crimes. Well, a lot of people didn't listen; they got executed. Does it mean that they were wrong? The people that were not listening and were dissenters. So this guy kind of like, I'm sure he just wants to implement Sharia right now, and just he might even want to kind of like, you know, I don't know, I don't know what he wants to do. He just wants me to listen and not say anything. Now this is the funniest thing ever, man. Like for me, I just
Listen, if
almost
we are
cracked up.
I think he would on a
if
one-on-one.
we are two sensible people,
Yeah.
if we have a disagreement and we have a conversation about it, at the end we're gonna, you know what?
Yeah. You know, that's
Yeah,
the way I want
I
to keep
understand.
it all the time.
But
But
Raj
when-
is not
listen,
like that.
when he
Raj
said-
is like
right.
Donald Trump. But
What do you think?
Donald Trump. Honestly, I've been called a lot of things in my life, but Donald Trump is like at a next level of madness. Actually, that's another thing. If you get to £2 million in sponsorship, I will orange my face up, put a blonde wig on, fatten up, and just tell everyone, all the Muslims, I'm going to deport you. I'm going to deport you. I'm closing the borders. I'll even build a wall around Speaker's Corner so they can't get in. So let's get that rolling. So, you know, he thinks I'm Donald Trump. I'll be a mini Donald Trump within the park. And I'll keep on going, you're fired. You're fired. So let's get this moving, man. Let's get me moving. Let's get some, let me kind of like take over the park as like Donald Trump. So then you go like, you know, you know, he keeps on just telling me like, I mean, the way he talks about me is like I'm,
Okay. You've got to deal with that because you're making a claim.
so like,
Because I would hate... Imagine all three of us.
our conversation is
Seek.
in the video.
so listen to this now.
In
Look.
the video. That's my point. He says himself. Ask any Sikh, would they support Tommy Robinson? That he stands for free speech?
Many
The
do.
facts are that they did. They got up
I
with
don't.
Oh, you're gonna be really disappointed, man. I hate to break it to people. There are a lot of Tommy Robinson supporters. They may not support me. Loads. Even people that you'd be surprised who you think could be quite against Tommy Robinson. When you ask them behind closed doors, they'll go, we're Tommy Robinson supporters. I think you're deluding yourself, guys, if you think that Tommy Robinson hasn't got support. One of the reasons he has support is basically because of the grooming situation, and Sikhs are sick and tired of it. So we know that Tommy Robinson is talking the truth about that kind of stuff. So I think you need to, you know, I'm not saying all Sikhs, but you know, maybe 50% I think probably support Tommy Robinson, which is a large amount. I may be wrong, but that's the amount that I've got when I've interacted with people. So then you go, never kind of like...
No,
asked him over there.
Steve, how you going with
He has
Steve?
visited,
Steve's in there as well
parties
now,
is
so.
valid and correct.
No, there is a saying. There is a saying. I think there is a saying that from
Apart from the,
no,
I mean,
from a
give some
foolish
examples.
friend,
Give some
a
examples.
clever enemy is better.
There's
A
some
fool,
wisdom
no,
in
a
that.
fool you cannot. You are telling
I
me.
understand, I understand.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
It doesn't make sense. Our conversation was that can we trust Raj? And I said no, I cannot trust him. I cannot trust him. He says something, and then when he goes, he says something else.
Can you give an example, though?
Yeah.
What else has he said, apart from disrespecting Sikhs? What else did he say that is fundamentally wrong, that you think?
Yeah, thanks James for asking him. The guy never replied, couldn't bring up any real kind of concrete examples. One of the things is that, you know, he seems to think I'm like going around criticising Islam left, right and centre. Do you know what? I've never even criticised Muhammad. What I can recall, I don't think I've even criticised like the theology of Islam in terms of, you know, whether I believe there's a particular God, like the way they had their God and the thingy. I just criticise bad ideas that have real life ramifications. So theology and beliefs are different for me from real life kind of ideologies. That, you know, the Sharia is a real concrete, real life part of Islam that, you know, if it's implemented, causes issues for people. And so for me, it's a terrible idea, barbaric, and, you know, it needs to be kind of like taken out of the religion, in my opinion, and that would make it more palatable. I know everyone's going to get hate, but I don't criticise Muhammad. I don't really criticise theology of Islam. Find me some videos or something. I can't seem to remember doing it, but I seem to be accused of like constantly criticising Muhammad and thingy. Show me, man. Show me the video. I don't see the point of doing that. It's kind of pointless for me. I'd rather just talk about stuff like the grooming, freedom of speech, and things like Sharia and stuff, which have real life consequences. Because I'm against the death penalty and stuff anyway, so I don't want people freaking killed just because they had a bit of fun outside of their marriage. You know, give them a little slap on the face. You know, the wife can hit him, or vice versa. Don't stone them to death, for God's sakes. And stones can be used for better things, like in the garden, like, you know, building like little kind of like ornaments and stuff. Last thing we need is blood on them. Alright, so let's have a look. So, example. Here it is. So, my Sikh brother. I'm actually in contact with him a little bit now. I like the fact that, you know,
I don't think we can.
No, I'm not gonna.
you know, he didn't fall for the bait. Our Sikhs are too clever for that, man.
Sikh represents it, exactly,
Yeah, so what?
No, he's not. No, he's not. He's not.
You know, it's important to understand he comes here and he's.
I know Sikhism better than him.
Yeah, a lot of the things he says, I don't agree with, but all this kind of.
But he's not malicious, right? He's not coming in with a malicious, unless you think he is, in which case,
He's
say
not
it.
here to hurt anybody. Just my judgment. This is my judgment just on watching the video.
What?
I think he's got a pre-position of hatred of Muslims. Yeah.
Because of what's happened to him, his family.
Yeah, and obviously that's a personal.
Yeah. I mean, he hasn't got an invalid point. I think when I first come to the park, I did. I think I've moved forward quite a lot, but no one gives me credit. When it comes to the grooming epidemic, I'm not going to move my stance. But when it comes to Muslims in general and people who are Salafis and all that kind of stuff, yeah, my views changed. You know, it's adjusted. And there's certain Muslims that I actually prefer over Sikhs. I'm being truthful with you, man. There's people I've met, they're like, if it wasn't for their ideology, like that crazy, you can't shake hands and all that kind of, like, you can't have a dog and all that, I'd probably be better friends with him than any Sikh I've met. But that kind of puts a little bit of a kind of problem between us, unfortunately, because I think it's those kind of things that I find a bit weird. And once again, let's have a look. 1808. Let's have a look. 1808. So I think he says something here. Sorry.
Worse.
That's BGP for you.
This kind of far right kind of thing that seems to be.
But Raj wouldn't talk about that. Raj prefers more to talk about how Islam is bad and evil and this and that.
Because that affects him on that personal level, which is what the Roger's
thing
brother
is-
said
but the thing
initially.
is-
We all agree on this.
No,
We
thing
know
is
why
that
he's doing it.
What happened was very personal.
feels
Yeah,
very
what
strongly
happened was
about
very personal. However, it's like, you know, and I don't want to get into it because it's a personal family issue, but the thing is, you know, we don't overall believe that we should be hating anyone.
Yeah, so
You could do something.
he's saying all I do is talk about Islam. That's all that's really filmed, to be honest, Jew. I talk about a lot of stuff outside of Islam. I talk about Sikh issues as well. But freaking never gets filmed. And the thing is, I can't talk about Sikh issues with non-Sikhs because it's difficult. You know, you don't have much of a thing. And to Lochan, you know, trying to talk to him is like talking to a freaking deranged lunatic. You know, one minute I think, you know, he's a decent guy. Next minute I think he's gonna like freaking, I don't know, go on a rampage and kill me or something. Oh well, not kill, but do whatever. I God knows what he's gonna do. It's early in the morning, so I'm a little bit tired. So some of my thought processes are a little bit random. So yeah, let's have a look. 2015, and then you go to 2015. Let's have a look. What happened there? I can't remember. This guy, look at him. He's trying his best to look cool.
The Son and the Holy Spirit.
Oh!
You're deviating.
No, I'm not.
You're devious.
I am telling Raj as a person.
This is funny, man. I mean,
You're like,
But you
like,
accept
like,
it.
like.
yeah, you know, like, people really, really give me way too much credit, yeah. I mean, I never thought I'd be compared to God. You know, alright, if anyone wants to start worshipping me, I can't stop you. But, you know, what can I do, man? I mean, listen to what he says. Listen.
A Christian says,
Right, but
the Father, the
yeah,
Son,
no,
and
you
the
look at me,
Holy
I'm not a
Spirit.
Christian. But
So Raj is like
Absolutely.
Trinity. Raj is a Father, is a Son, and the Holy Spirit.
you're deviating.
No, I'm not.
You're devious.
I am telling Raj as a person.
But you agree he does not come here with malice.
No,
We don't have to take it that
I
seriously.
agree he comes.
We don't have to
You
take
think
it that
he's?
seriously.
He does.
You think he's
Yeah,
being
so
malicious? You think
this
that?
is something that, you know, I found like really kind of like great. Like if you listen to the Sikh brother, very sensible. I'm gonna say something, and you know, people are gonna start crying and wetting their panties. Stop the inbreeding. I think this is what's causing the problems. Look how our Sikh brothers are like, you know, quite sensible dudes going around.
Son,
And then you got lunatics like this dude, like freaking comparing me to Donald Trump, the Trinity, trying to say that I'm the next freaking hate preacher that's gonna kind of call the destruction of Islam. I don't know what they think. They think I'm orchestrating some kind of massive plan for the downfall of Islam. I don't know how I
and
can
the
do
Holy
that.
Spirit.
You're deviating.
No, I'm not.
You're devious.
I am telling Raj as a person.
But you agree he does not come here with malice.
No,
We don't have to take it that
I
seriously.
agree he comes.
We don't have to
You think
take him
he's-
that
You
seriously.
think he's being malicious? You think
See
he's
that?
intentional?
Yes.
Because he has hatred.
No, because
We don't have to take him that seriously. I am taking an occupation in your head and in your mind that, you know, you should be concentrating on Ramadan and stuff like that. Instead, you're like stuck on me, for God's sakes. You know, I can't wait for the statues to be made though in Saudi Arabia and the Islamic world. Ooh, that's gonna be amazing, man. I might design it myself because I'm actually another talent I've got. I know I keep on boosting myself up. I'm actually really great at sculpturing as well. I need to start doing it again. I used to be like one of the best in the school. I stopped doing it because it's too messy. That's another skill. These hands can do a lot of freaking things. And so let's have a look. And then it's nearly finished. Don't worry. You can kind of like relax in a bit. So 21, 25. Oh, he's already done that. 23, 55. So this guy really, really is losing sleep over me. I don't know what to do about him. I might adopt him. What do you think? Maybe I'll adopt him. I can be like his.
He's seeing a problem in his community and he's trying to do something about it. And he needs
Oh,
to
see
be
that?
admired for that, 100%.
I'm trying to highlight something in my
Dare I say,
community.
it's the same problem with Tommy Robinson. Is you've got someone who says he sees a problem in his community and and he's doing something about it.
Well done, James.
But from my point of view, he's doing bad. That's the thing.
Yeah,
Now, what he's
maybe.
doing is not right.
But just to touch on that,
Yeah.
John Robson's highlighting certain issues that probably exist, but he's actually not doing anything for his own community.
Correct.
Because
Yeah, so you heard that. And about the adoption thing, I can't adopt him anyway under Islamic law because adoption's forbidden. What the hell is that about? So please someone explain to me that. You know, adoption's such a beautiful thing. I can't even do that anymore. So, you know, people wonder why I don't look forward to Sharia law. You know, there's a lot of things that are going to piss me off. Can't even draw under Sharia. You know, my portrait business will go down a freaking pan. Can't have a dog. You'll have to chuck it in the bin, for God's sakes. Not literally, dogs cannot go in bins, but let's just say. And then I think it's the last situation, which is 25 actually, which is just here.
You're an atheist at heart, right?
No way.
But it's true that, you know, I have a problem with it. And there are people here like Steve will be here and they support Tommy. Or Raj actually supports Tommy.
Yes, the thing is large.
And I don't. I mean, a lot of Sikhs do though, apparently, right? Would you say?
Yes.
I think lots of big numbers.
No.
I think, look,
No.
there's hatred in a lot of communities.
Thank you.
Yeah. In all sorts. There'll be Muslims,
Yes,
there'll be Christians,
yes.
people that hate other people, yeah.
Yes.
I think at the same time,
What would you say? I'm going to put you on the spot, but you know, if you ask me how many non-believing white guys.
Yeah, so well done to my Sikh brother. Another sensible guy. You know, we're a pretty cool lot. Gotta say that. You know, we come down, and even this guy here, I haven't listened to the whole thing, but he seemed to be, you know, not all Sikhs wear turbans. So wearing a turban is when you're like normally if you're baptized, you wear the turban and the long beard. I'm not baptized either. I'm kind of in the middle ground. These guys are still Sikh, but they're not what's called a baptized or a Guru Sikh. And so we have a lot of Sikhs like that that you might not know as Sikhs, but you can kind of tell from. So if anyone wants to know,
I agree.
it's him again. So normally you could tell a Sikh, normally from the bangle, they normally have a thick bangle or a thin bangle in their arms. So that's kind of one way, and they have the surname Singh, so we're all called Singh, which means lion, and the females are called Kaur, which means like a princess. So yeah, it's kind of a really great concept to unify us, even though I don't believe in groupthink, but it's beneficial sometimes like that. Anyway, I've only got like 1 or 2 more videos to do because the time frame is over. So I've made it through the solitude nearly. It was ruined today, unfortunately, but what can I do? Anyway, it's weird watching videos about dedicated to me when I'm not there. I think I'm kind of like being studied like some kind of lab rat, but most of it was positive, so I can't really complain. Apart from obviously the Muslim brother going ape shit and crying and wetting his panties because I got my own views. Anyway, to Saeed again, I'm going to say Saeed, don't let Ellie Diva kind of pressure you or belittle you or kind of like, you know, oppress you. And I'll make sure let's start hashtagging free Saeed from Ali Diva. Let's start doing a hashtag free Saeed from Ali Diva. Anyway, bye.